Hey guys, so this is a couple days after last time you guys saw me when I was, doing the run around Airbnb guests, blah 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 blah. The title already says it. It's really lonely at the top. And let me explain to you. And that's not to say that the top for me, I've reached the top. I don't think I've reached guys, come on. Like my top is something else, okay? I feel like from where I started to now, I'm probably in the middle, somewhere in the middle, but I'm still not yet at the top, right? In the process of becoming the person that I am today, guess what? There are so many friends, so many people that I had to leave on the way. The path was like this. And then it's like the higher you go, the more people you leave behind. Once upon a time, and I'm not going to go into the specific, but once upon a time, I used to be in a community where I felt like, when I say community, the environment where I was, the people that I was surrounded by, I used to feel like, the crab effect. I don't know if you guys know the crab effect of like, if you put crabs in a bucket, that we pull each other down. That's how I felt. I felt like I was being pulled down. I felt like the things that I wanted to do, and I was sharing my, my dream, thinking that everybody was on the same wavelength. Like people wanted to become bigger. They wanted to do better in life. And I just felt like on and on and on again, many of my old friends, right, kept on saying, who do you think you are? I've been here before you. I came to the US before you. You think they're going to hire somebody like you? Like literally, I remember this guy. I'm not going to say who he is. I told him that I was going to school for accounting and I wanted to work for the big CPA firm, blah, 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 blah. Because it was a dream, right? Whatever. And he said, girl, I've been here before you. I've been here before you. Do you really think that these people are going to hire somebody who is, first of all, from Africa? Second of all, English is not even your first language. English is not even your first language. And you think they're going to hire you over somebody who is actually American? And the same person, when I was a junior in university, and guys, so many things happened in my life. Anyway, I was a junior in university. The same person told me that I should be thinking about getting married or something like that, because when I graduate, it will be pointless, right? I will be shipped back to Cameroon because I won't have the adequate papers in order to continue working in the US. And God. Every time I say God, you guys know the miracle of God. I had played the lottery, right? The GV lottery, and I won. At the time I didn't even know I won. My ex, my then boyfriend told me that, girl, you actually won the lottery. I checked online, blah, 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 you won the lottery. And I remember when some of my friends back then found out that I got the green card. I mean, you know how somebody looks at you, the person is looking at you and the person is looking at you like, how? What type of witchcraft have you been? What type of witchcraft have you been stirring in the pot for you to get G's? And I've been here 10 years before you. It was so many things that happened. And I had to remove myself from that environment, which was also another story for another day, okay? Because many people said many things. And I was told, because at the time I had this classmate who was like a girlfriend. She was from Russia, but I think she was born in Russia, but raised in America, right? And we used to be buddies. And I used to like that girl because she was smart. And I wanted to be surrounded by smart people because I wanted to succeed. She was smart. She was also going for accounting. Today, I think she's a CPA. She's married, probably have a kid or something like that. She lives in California. But anyway, so I wanted to be close to her. Not that I wanted. She liked me. I liked her. We used to study together. And I remember the people that I used to call my friends who, were like me, were like, why are you trying to act... why are you trying to act white? Basically, bottom line, that's what they say. Why are you trying to act white? Just because your girl I knew exactly where I was going. I knew exactly where I was going. I used to work in a group home where I was taking care of elderly and people with disability. And that was not going to be my life forever. I was working there part-time and I was going to school full-time, right? I was working at the hair salon. Nothing wrong with those jobs. I was working at the hair salon and I was going to school full-time, right? I was working on campus as a night security supervisor. I was going to school full-time. But I knew those jobs was just the stepping stone. Like I just needed somewhere to land so that I can, buckle up, work really hard, get smarter, get richer, like have some money, whatever, pay my bills, and then get on the other side. I just, like, I already knew I had a plan. And at the time, everybody around me felt like I was overdoing it, right? And it wasn't everybody, because all of us were like college students, actually. No, like we were college students. And I think most of us graduated, which is a good thing. But I remember a couple of them who have been in the US for years before I came, felt like I wanted to, because they hadn't, gotten their degrees yet, because they were working, blah, blah, blah. And I felt like I was trying to act white. And I remember that specifically because I was studying with this girl from Russia, with this white girl. We were studying together and sometimes hanging out together. And I was told that I was trying to act white because I want to associate myself with other people. And when I think about that, and I think how I remove myself from the environment in order to be a better person, not to say that if you stay in your environment, in that environment of your people from the same country, the same continent, because they were Africans from all over the place, that you're not going to succeed. That's not to say that, right? Many of them were actually ambitious. Many of them today are successful. So I'm not going to say if you stay in that environment, you're not going to be successful. But one thing that I knew is that they were pulling me. Many of them were actually dragging me down. Everything that I wanted to do, whenever I would share that with them, it would be like, who do you think you are? Do you think the people are going to hire you? Do you think you're going to pass this exam? Do you think? And today, I'm not even going to lie to you, I don't have many friends. I can count maybe 5. And out of the 5 friends, I probably have 2 good friends and maybe 3 friends that, hey, hi, how's it going? Blah, 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 blah. Right? I don't have many friends. I have many acquaintances, like people know of me, right? Or maybe they encountered me somewhere at some events or whatever, but I don't have many friends. And you guys can actually see that on my vlogs, right? Because I don't show you guys many friends. I show you me. And this is how my life has been. Many of the things I have accomplished them because I wasn't sharing it with the world. I wasn't sharing it with those friends because I felt like how can I put that? Sometimes this is what I learned. This is what I found out about life, right? Sometimes it's not that people don't want you to succeed or they don't want you to be at the top. It's just that they are so familiar. Like, you are the comfort zone, right? You guys have been at that level, and why are you trying to go past them? And I think many of the people that I had to leave behind, there was a lot of that. Some of the people, naturally, we just fell apart, right? There was nothing, there was no argument, there was no pulling me down. It was just naturally people evolve, and sometimes we evolve in different directions, right? But when I look at my life today, just yesterday I booked another flight ticket, right? I had already booked one. I booked another flight ticket to go someplace. And when I booked the flight ticket, I thought to myself, it would be nice for me to actually be with somebody, right? Like with a friend, somebody, and go and blah, blah, blah. And then I was searching in my head, right? Who am I going to call? Nobody. Nobody. And that's not to say those are not good friends, the people that I can actually reach out to, but they're busy. They have families, they have responsibilities, they have things, right? And I feel like I'm still at the season of my life where I have much more time than a woman who is a mother, for example, than a woman who's married. I'm a single child-free woman, right? So I have the ability to just move around. Last time somebody asked me, girl, how did you do it? How would you just go back home? She was actually African American. She asked me, how would you just go back home, back to Africa and open a school? How did you do it? Right? And I wanted to give her the detailed stories and blah, blah, blah. As much as I want to say, girl, I believed in myself. I did it. I know I am not self-made, right? I am not. Because there were so many people around that made it happen for me. The fact that my family, my mom and dad are in Cameroon, my brother is in Cameroon, helped a lot. Right? I don't think I would have been able to actually succeed in business if my parents were not in Cameroon, right? They didn't hold my hand when I was going through the whole procedure, but the fact that they were there and they helped me oversee the operations was really helpful. And because I trust them, right? I trust that they're going to be looking after, they're going to be looking out for me. So, but when the person asked me, girl, how did you do it? The first thing that I told her is I moved. Literally, I told her, I said, I moved. Meaning that sometimes you want to be successful in life, you want to do something, and then you feel like you have a dream, you have something you want to accomplish, but the environment you're in doesn't allow you to actually fly. The same thing happened when I was in Minnesota, right? As soon as I graduated, guys, I packed my belongings and I moved a couple of days after. I was out of I was out. Actually, I was out because I went to Cameroon. And then when I came back, I packed my stuff and then I drove all the way to Texas just because of a phone call. Made a phone call to my girlfriend, one of my girlfriends. I said, "Where you at?" She said, "Texas." I said, "How's the weather?" She said, "Oh my God, it's warm." That was February. She said, "It's warm." I said, "What?" "Send me a video." She went outside, took a video, and I packed my belongings and I came, right? Shout out to her brother because he made it happen, right? But all I want to say is this. If you actually want to succeed in life, sometimes it requires you to move. You have to move. I don't care. Sometimes you have to move mentally, physically. And as you're moving, right, you sometimes have to leave people behind. And that's not to say the people are bad for you, but sometimes they do the crap thing, they pull you down, right? So not only I removed myself from the environment when I was, I felt like I was in the environment of people who did not expect me to become somebody. I removed myself from that environment. And I also physically removed myself from the state, Minnesota. And I moved to Texas. And I felt like, okay, now I can breathe. I actually wanted to move to California, but one thing led to another and I ended up not moving. But yeah, so going after your dream requires a lot of solitude, a lot of loneliness, because you can be alone and not feel lonely, if that makes sense. I've been alone many times and not felt lonely. But there are times where you do feel lonely because you want to share those moments with somebody. And I always thank God because I have so many sisters. So just now, before I started this video, I was talking to my sister, right? I have so many sisters and we are around the same age. I'm grateful for that because at least I have my sisters, and my sisters are actually my best friends. Like, they are my best friends. If there's something going down, I know they're going to pack up and be like, "Girl, who are we shooting?" Like, that's the type of sisters that I have. But it has been lonely. I'm not going to lie to you. It has been lonely. You guys see me even when I vlog, right? I always vlog alone because sometimes I have friends, right? I have a couple of friends, but they don't want to be on camera. And sometimes I don't. I don't have people that I can share moments with, right? I remember when I landed this contract, right? That I told you recently. I landed the contract here in the US, and I wanted to celebrate. And I didn't know who to call. I have my girlfriend. She has beautiful family, kids, a husband, whatever. I couldn't call her because she was going through her thing, right? She had family stuff, blah, blah, blah. And I just could not, like, I had to celebrate on my own. And that is basically the definition of it is lonely at the top, right? For every milestone that you're going to celebrate, you might actually celebrate it alone. Nobody's going to be there to cheer you on. Nobody's going to be there to be like, "Girl, you go." No, you know? And then I have you guys, right? Because every time I achieve something, I go from one milestone to the next. You guys are always cheering for me. So I love you guys for that. But it is lonely at the top, right? It is lonely because there are many people who don't share your vision of becoming higher, better, wiser. Many people don't share that vision. They used to like you when you were right there with them, right? But as you're growing higher and higher, they don't like you. Okay. And there's some people that naturally you guys just fall apart. You have different priorities. Your life look totally different. So I'm going to interrupt this video. This is probably like 1 hour later after I made the whole video. And I thought to myself, many people are probably going to ask, "Girl, that's why you need a man so that you won't feel lonely at the top." No, there are many women around me, okay, that I know of that are married or they're in partnership, whatever. By the way, so cute. They're in partnership, whatever, and they're even lonelier than some of us who are single. Okay, so being lonely at the top doesn't necessarily mean that you need a partner. And if you do have to have a partner, better be a good one. Because I would rather be single than to hang out or to spend my time or waste my time, my energy, my soul, my love, my kindness, and everything on a man that's not worth it. Okay, because there's always that one person who's gonna go down below and say something about, "Girl, that's what you need a man." I would love a man. I don't need a man, okay? But I would love one, but I don't need one, if that makes sense. So anyway, let's get back to the video. There are people with whom they are your people. And when those people are your people, your tribe, doesn't matter what you do, they're always gonna hold you and be like, "Girl, I'm here for you." And I have really few people, not even a handful, all right? Maybe like three people, right? If I don't count my sisters, maybe like three people outside of my family members who are the type of people who would be like, girl, let me know where you want to go and I will help you create a path, right? But it is lonely at the top, right? At the end of the day, you know exactly who are your people, who are your tribe, right? But I don't need an entire village. I don't. You know, I feel like the more friends you have, the more drama you have, the more wahala. Nobody wants to deal with that. Like, I don't have time for that. Look at my life. I'm so busy. I don't have time for that. Anyway, guys, I just booked a trip yesterday, I booked a trip and I'm excited. I'm going to take you guys on that trip and it's going to be all good. Maybe not next vlog, but the vlog after. Definitely. I'm going to take you guys. It's going to be a surprise. Okay. It's going to be a surprise. Anyway, guys, so I'm going to go. I told my sister that I was going to call her back. Oh my gosh. She's going to be like, girl, you always say just you never call me back. Oh my God. Let's see. If she's up, I'll talk to you next vlog.